העניים. Walking down the streets, I look alive. No one knows what's going on inside. So much I cannot do. Just wanna be more like you. Does it even pay to try? I know 1 billion stars come out at night. Each one with their own purpose, their own light. Those stars are just like me, each their own identity. It's all in my state of mind. Because I'm 1 in a million, in a million. I'm 1 in a million, in a million. I know in my heart, no one can.
Okay, can we start? Just want to say that soundtrack was exactly what this class needs. That's amazing music. Okay, Be'ezat Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach. I want to welcome you to another session of the Lighthouse Project as we do these Zoom classes remotely. Tonight's class is another installment in the Mashiach 101 series, which still feels like it's relevant, still feels like this is still time that we need to talk about Mashiach. Each lesson is building on the back of the previous one. Be'ezat Hashem, we'll be able to learn together something very, very special tonight, something that is a life tool that we must acquire in the times that we're in. Before we get started, I'd like to give an honorable mention to, let's see, first of all, Yitbarach Shemo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu Adonai Sivaveh Yiftach, Efri Yagi Tilatecha. We want to dedicate this lesson to Menachem Mendel Ben Elchanan and Devorah Fega Bat Shmuel. Also, we would like to give a few more honorable mentions. One will start with the Ilui Nishmat, that the Zat Hashem, that this Torah learning that we're all doing will do. We'll have a special soul ascension for the ones that need it, people that passed away recently: David ben Zohara, Moshe Levi ben Shoshana, Shmuel ben Amuma, Yaniv ben Rina, Zion ben Zachariah, Rav Azariah Labaton, Sarah Ita bat Shmuel, and Avraham ben Moshe. On a lighter note, these lessons should also be to the Zivug, to Refuah, and to the Atzlacha to the Zivug of Idbal bat Jakin, Batchem bat Jakin, Yehuda Lev ben Mendel, for the Refuah of Esther bat Vishna and Yeshayahu Yosef ben Zari, and for health, wealth, success, Emuna, Simcha, and Bitachon to Stacy Esther bat Miriam, Guy ben Dina, Michael Citron, Henshi Gordetsky, Avraham, and Yosef Sakai. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, it's always very good to have Hakarat Tov, to always mention the people that are very important in your life, or people that need help, or people that are a part of the Lighthouse Project. They are part of this just as much as I am. Let's get started. This new series that we started, this Mashiach 101, what's interesting about it is that the whole talk of Mashiach intensified in the beginning of about 2 or 3 months ago, when this whole virus started to take full effect, and certain things started to pop up, and certain things started to fit into the Geulah narrative, and we started to feel like, something is happening, something is it's starting to bubble. And as soon as he started to talk about Mashiach, people understand that it's not like, I'm going to wait on my couch and wait for Mashiach to come so I can stop paying my mortgage, or that I'm going to just wait for Mashiach to come so he can save me and then I have to get out of debt, or finally I don't have to go to work, or finally, I can do whatever it is that I want, and Jews are the number one race in the world. It's not that. You actually have to merit Mashiach. You have to have a zechut. You got to work for it. So, as everything begins to unfold and people understand how they're behind and they might need to play a little bit of catch up to merit the zechut of Mashiach, they're a little bit overwhelmed. So even though that we were discussing Mashiach in the first few classes, and last week we started almost like the how-to, when we said that you got to have Emuna, you got to have Achdut, you got to do Teshuvah, each one of those things. We can do 10, 15 classes on each one of those things. You don't just say, oh, just do Teshuvah, have Emuna and Achdut, and it's done in 1 hour. No way. No way. There's so much work. It's a state of mind. It's a hashkafa. It's a lifestyle. So it is going to take a lot of work. And today we're going to add some more. We're going to add a lot more things because there's nothing better than being educated. There's nothing better than knowing what you need to do. It's better than having your hand in the sand and waiting for something waiting for Mashiach when he's not even coming for you. You don't want to be in the dark. You want to be in the know. You want to be certain Mashiach is coming from me. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that we shall all merit to the Geula, because he's coming for us. He's coming for the ones that are in between. He's coming for the ones that are on the fence, the ones that are religious, but somewhat not, trying, failing, the ones that are, but are not motivated, whatever. There's a full menu of what type of Jews are out there in the world. Mashiach is coming to see if you can show the best version of yourself in the time of the Geula. A little challenge. It's a challenge. Once you pass this challenge, maybe the next few classes will be what happens during the times of Mashiach. We maybe describe it so we can almost like feel what is it that we're yearning for? What is it that we're looking forward to? So this particular class is called Emuna, Bitachon, Simcha, repeat. Last week's class was Teshuvah, Emuna, Achdut, repeat. It's a lot. But we have to get it in because for 3 reasons. 1, you have to know it. 2, maybe you'll start now. 3, if you don't start now and you start later, at least you know. You don't have to sit through 30, 40 classes to get there. This is like a Cliff's Notes. It's like a cheat sheet to the Geula. I'm giving you I'm really condensing a lot of concepts in about 2, 3 lessons just so you can have it. And then it's on you. I tag you in to go to where you're weak. If you're weak in your bitachon, weak in your emunah, weak in your achdut, go do your work. Go read your books. Go play more videos online and get better at what you're weak at. But we have to get these in. So even though these last few lessons are really packed with information and a lot to do, but it's necessary because I'm not only am I eager to get this information out, but they're interlaced. They're very much connected. So as the world is still coping with the virus and all the changes that have come with it, this renewed reality, the new social rules and that are doused with fear, it seems like we're never going to go back to our old norm. For some reason, it just feels like that. It feels like things are shifting in a new direction. And, I don't want to talk too much about all these political plots and subplots. And, I don't want to talk about Illuminati again. And I don't want to talk about Cabal and the New World Order. It scares a lot of people away. It takes a lot of people out of the element. They want to hear Torah. They don't want to hear conspiracy theories. But you'll see, up until now, we're saying, oh, the Arabs and the Christians, that's the Geula. That's still coming. It's just that this is something else that's surfacing, and you have to deal with it, and you have to talk about it. And as we're getting a little bit more educated, because things are being reported on the news, social media, a lot of the truth is coming out. It's a little scary. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people are in shock. A lot of people are frozen like a deer in headlights, trying to figure out what's going on, trying to process so many changes. I can tell you that almost in the past 3 classes that I've done, people have reached out to me on Facebook or by text or calling me. It's hard for me to sleep. Why'd you tell me that? It's hard for me to to process what you told me. Is it really going to happen? Is that what's really going to happen? Is that what's really going to happen in the world? I hope not. But I'm not reporting this. And neither are any of the rabbis. Maybe some rabbis are touching it and speaking about it. But this is common news. You turn on your Facebook, you turn on the news, you go on YouTube, do your research. Get to know what's going on in the world. And the whole thing is it's only going to be there for a short period of time because they keep taking it off. And they keep relabeling the video clips with different names until you're able to catch it. But it's eye-opening. And it's happening. And it's part of the Geulah. Now, and not only that, it's been prophesized. This is not something new. We've been in the know. We've known about this for the whole time. It's just now finally coming out. Anybody who hasn't been watching the news, doesn't care about the news, doesn't care about politics, all of a sudden, it bothers them that there's a virus and that there's new rules, and all of a sudden, like people that are telling us what to do and telling us that we need to get microchipped and vaccinated, and all of our social or liberties are starting to get little by little dwindling away. This new world order, slowly but surely, personal freedoms are being redefined and re-outlined. And very subtly, very carefully, very calculated moves on a very numb society, soon is going to have a rude awakening with a new reality, with new global players, where the truth, which is a rare commodity nowadays, is going to feel like, we let someone we trust take over the wheel and drive, only to realize that they took the wrong exit and they took us to the wrong place, and we can't do anything about it. We trusted people with our liberties, with our rights, with our freedom, and you're going to wake up one day and things are going to be different. And again, this is not Torah. This is Fox. This is CNN. This is MSNBC. This is social media with all the media outlets that are reporting it. It's already starting to creep in, the story. Olam HaSheker, the world of lies, is beginning to reveal itself. It's all been a lie. There have always been sub-truths, things under the surface that have been in action. Now, there's much more to come. This is just the beginning. And again, I urge you to educate yourself about global conspiracies that we used to discount as nonsense and cultish. You see that all of a sudden they're major role players. We see that they are part of our daily lives all of a sudden. People that we wouldn't even press play on YouTube because it's not interesting. It's only for goth people or for devil worshippers or for anyone that's into Wicca or black magic. All of a sudden, these people are involved in government and government roles in the future of the world. Now, for us Jews, there's an additional storyline. There's an additional subplot. This journey that we are on. So this entire time while all this is going on, or from the beginning of time, or at least since Matan Torah, as Jews, we always had like this other storyline always going. We're always yearning for the coming of Mashiach. Daily, every day. Every single day. For thousands and thousands of years, Jews have always carried this subplot, this little storyline to our lives, always waiting for the redemption, always waiting for Mashiach. And it's starting to feel a little bit like the Messianic era. It is starting to feel a little bit like it. A lot of the big rabbis some of the biggest rabbis in our generations are going all in, saying that the writing is on the wall, that these are the beginning, the beginning pangs of the Messianic era, Chevle Mashiach, which we discussed in length in the previous class. As a matter of fact, I'm going to let you feel right now what the rabbis predicted thousands of years ago in Masechet Shabbat on the 31st page, on the first size. It has some questions that they ask a person when he reaches the heavens after 120. Meaning, after 120 years in this earth, when you go up to the heavens, first they hold a clipboard and they ask you several questions. Before we move forward, I have a few questions for you, and here they are. I'll read it off to you, and then Be'ezrat Hashem, I'll try to translate it as well. It says, Amar Rava. Rava said, when a person departs from this world and he's brought for judgment for all of his life that he lived in this world, Omrim lo, they ask him, Nasata v'natata be'emuna, were you honest in your, were you conducting business faithfully? I'm sorry. Kavata itim la Torah, did you designate time for Torah study? Asakta befriya v'rivya, did you engage in procreation? Meaning, did you go? Did you find a partner? Did you get married? Did you have children? Tzipita le'yeshua, did you expect the coming of Mashiach? Pilpalta bechokma, did you engage in wisdom or understanding one thing from another? Evanta davar mitoch davar. And we see over here that imagine that one of the first things that they ask you in the heavens, one of the first thing is, did you wait for Mashiach? Were you expecting Mashiach every single day? In other words, it's very interesting. Before you go left or before you go right, they have a little questionnaire, meaning here are the top 6 questions that we're going to ask you, and we'll decide what happens from here. So this subplot, this storyline of waiting for Mashiach, it's part of our daily routine. In heavens, they're going to ask us if we dealt with it if we expected it every single day. And as this storyline of Mashiach is starting to unravel, the way we in previous classes we discussed what various rabbis told us about this specific time in history. We learned what the Rashbi said, the Ramchal, the Arizal. Tonight, I'd like to cite from Shomer Emunim. It's Rabbi Aaron Rata, where he cites Orach Chaim HaKadosh. And he says over there, it says, in the end of days, in the end of the exile, the Jews will need to enter the 50th gate of impurity, Shar Nun Shel HaTum'ah, and to withstand all the challenges that come with it. Apparently, at the end of days, there's 50 gates of impurity, and the 50th gate, which is the worst one out of all of them, is going to be the gate that the Jewish people are going to enter. And they're going to have to deal with the challenges that come with this 50th gate. And the rabbi continues to say, and they will prevail. They'll be successful on this last challenge of entering the 50th gate of impurity, the Sha'ar Nun Shel HaTum'ah. And why would they prevail? He says, because they have power that comes from the Torah. Because in those days, it's zeh le'umat zeh. There's Hashem keeps it fair. Midah keneged midah, zeh le'umat zeh. Hashem keeps it fair. Hashem is never going to make it where there's more tum'ah than kedusha, or more kedusha than tum'ah. If there's more tum'ah, Hashem says, okay, let's put some more kedusha, so the fight is fair. If there's more kedusha, put more tum'ah, so the fight is fair. So the challenge is fair. Zeh le'umat zeh. Just as they're going to be the highest level, the 50th gate of tum'ah, there also be the equivalent in the highest level of Kedusha. There'll be, during these times, a resurgence of coming back to God. And there'll be a huge wave of Ba'alet Teshuvah. Jews will be thirsty for a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And you can see that nowadays. If you scroll through our Zoom class right now and look at all the people that are online, I think maybe there's one or two in a white shirt and a black hat and a beard. Everyone else is a regular Joe. Why? We're all coming back. Everybody's doing teshuvah, and there's more coming. Millions have already come back. Baruch Hashem. Millions have already been in it. God bless them that they've been there all this time and kept the flame going. Millions are going to come. And they're all going to look like us, regular people that finally the light turned on in the attic, and we finally want to have a connection with the Creator, and we just want knowledge and knowledge and knowledge. Teach me more. What do I do? What do I need to think? What was it? I'm catching up. Catch me up quickly. This huge wave of Baalei Teshuvah during the time of Mashiach. Jews will be thirsty, hungering for a relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. The time of Mashiach will be for that dormant internal flame that's in every single one, that godly spark that has just been put on the side for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, a lifetime, to become ablaze before Mashiach. It's going to happen. For each person, it's going to happen in a different stage. For some people, it's going to happen during COVID. For some people, it's going to happen after. Some, it's coming. Some, it already happened. Along the way, it's all that godly spark. It's going to get fanned. You're going to get there. If you're a Jew and have a little bit of a godly spark in the time of the Messianic era, there's a good chance you're going to come back and do teshuvah. The question is just when. And a different event will flame the fire of different types of Jews until we all reach the same mentality, until we reach the same desire, until we come to the same conclusion, until we come to that state of mind of En lanu al mi lishaen ela al Avinu shebashamayim. The whole world is going to come to that reality. That you can't rely on anybody but God. And it's a very, very personal feeling. It's a very, very personal mindset. Because even sitting here talking about it, you still feel, I got some money in my pocket. I could withstand maybe a year, 2 years, 5 years, of some rough times. You know what? I know some good lawyers. I'm very much connected. You know what? I got some pistols in my hidden under my bed or inside the wall. Everybody's got their sense of security. At one point, all the walls are going to crumble. You're going to feel zero sense of security, and you're going to turn to God, and you're going to say, only you, Hashem, only you can save me. And once you get to that point, once we collectively come to that point, Mashiach will be here. And it will be the toughest challenge ever. It's one of the toughest challenges to face the Jewish people, because we've been trying to get to that mindset for thousands of years. We have yet to achieve it. Imagine they left the job for us. Look around you. Look around you. We're not the Tanaic rabbis of the Gemara. We're not in the time of the prophets. We're not in the times of the kings. Look around you. They left the job for us. Regular Jews, 50-50, affiliated, not affiliated, secular, Orthodox. This little mix of Jews that are connected and not connected to bring the Mashiach. Imagine. But Chazal tell us we will overcome. They tell us there will be enough Torah, enough Teshuvah, enough Kedusha, enough holiness in the world to fight the evils of that time. With all the craziness that's going around us, we will still have enough holiness in order for us to merit. Hashem will never give us a challenge that we cannot face and that we cannot overcome. We mentioned in the previous class, how come Egypt, we had to leave at the 49th gate of Tum'ah, and in the time of Mashiach is the 50th gate of Tum'ah? Because in order to get out of the 50th level of Tum'ah, you need Torah. The Jews did not get the Torah yet. That means they can get to 49. That's as much as their Emuna, belief, connection to God can get them. Or lack of connection, 49. It was a true Hesed by Kadosh Baruch Hu. To get out of the 50th, you got to have Torah. You got to get connected to the truth. You got to get connected to the Creator. It's the only way out of this 50th level. It's like a video game that you go all the way to the last level. You have the last monster that you have to beat, and you can't beat him unless you have the special power called Torah. Now, this evil side of existence, this side of tum'ah, we have to understand there's good and there's evil. There's kedusha and there's tum'ah. That's the way the world is made. There's yin, there's yang. There's hot, there's cold. There's happy, there's sad. That's how the world is made. Polar opposites. The rabbis tell us that just as deep and dangerous this 50th level of tum'ah is, it's going to be defeated when we pass through the 50th gate. And what is written on the 50th gate of kedusha? It's the 50th gate of Emuna. The gate of Emuna. Emuna in Hashem and the Torah is going to be tested like never before. Like never before in Jewish history. You have to understand that the challenge of the evil side, what are they coming for? We know what they're coming for. They're coming for our faith in God. We will be tried many, many times over. Our faith in Hashem is going to be tested. We're going to be challenged. And it will literally bring Jews to their breaking point. People will be breaking because they feel that they can't believe anymore. They have no more faith in God. That's what the 50th level is going to challenge. It's going to challenge our faith in Hashem, our belief in Hashem. And anyone who has a strong emunah will prevail. Will pass this challenge. It's going to be a short period of time. It's going to be hot and heavy. It's going to come like very strong. A lot of wars, a lot of challenges, a lot of negative attention towards the Jewish people. It's going to be very, very strong. But you have to withstand it. You got to have emunah during that time. If you don't have it, you're not going to make it out of it. Anyone who doesn't have emunah is going to have a very hard time dealing with this next stage in our lives. You should know that in the time of Mashiach, we don't accept converts and we don't accept Baalei Tshuva. Because who doesn't want to be on the side of the Jews, of the Jewish nation when Mashiach is here? It's a no-brainer. Mashiach is here. Let me convert. I want to become Jewish. Yeah. Mashiach is here. Oh, let me become Baalei Tshuva. Nah, I see the truth. Sure, for sure. Where's my tefillin? Where's Shabbat? Where's the kosher food? At that time, they are not going to accept anyone. The door is going to be closed. Now is the time to come back. Now is the time to come back, to make the effort. This is the time to get an ironclad faith in Hashem. To get as many people in your family, in your circle of friends, or any Jew that you have access to get into Mashiach mode. To get the life tools necessary for this next stage of our lives. Because when the time comes, for some people, it will be too late. And they will miss the opportunity. And that's why it's very, very important to prepare and to help others prepare. And that's the purpose of these classes. We are preparing. Because the majority of the Jews are on the fence with their religiosity. The ones that are going to make the decision to go to the other side, the side of Torah, the side of mitzvot, the ones that decide to forge a relationship with God, will make it out of the Messianic era. The ones that will remain indifferent, unconnected, the ones that stay on the fence, that are just waiting for this whole thing to blow over and just, go back to work, go back to the norm, and still not tap into their spirituality, and they don't make an effort to merit the redemption, to win the redemption, they will unfortunately have a very, very hard time during the Geulah. The Chafetz Chaim once said that the First World War will seem like a joke, will seem like a game compared to the Second World War. So this once was repeated by Mashiach in a prominent yeshiva Yechezkel Lubenstein, Toti Avichim in the Kollel. And one of the listeners jumped out and said, why are you saying that? After such a horrible First World War, we should just pray, and we should pray to be saved, not to go through it again. Such a horrible decree to repeat it. We don't want to repeat it. We don't want to repeat it again. So the Mashgiach jumped up and replied, you think that's what the Chafetz Chaim meant? You think that this is what he meant? That we are going to go into an additional war? He says what the Chafetz Chaim meant is that there will be such a darkness in the Emuna that it will eclipse the darkness of the Emuna of the previous war. In other words, the Emuna of the Jewish people during the First World War was huge, but it'll be like a joke compared to the darkness of Emuna that they will have during the Second World War. And he says, and in the Third World War, Emuna will be very difficult to achieve. Emuna will be completely in the dark. It's amazing. So many different rabbis from different eras of time are all talking about one thing in the end of times. They're making a very, very strong highlight of the concept of Emunah. Now, we discussed Emunah in our previous class, but tonight we're going to learn it a little bit different. We're going to add something to it. We're going to learn Emunah again, but we're going to do Emunah and Bitachon. And they go hand in hand. They complete each other because they have a very unique end result. When they are both achieved properly, when you have Emunah and you add to it Bitachon, you get a very special bonus at the end. Something that really, really complements having Emunah and Bitachon. We'll discuss it at the end of the class as well. But again, just to crystallize what is Emunah. And I just want you to know that on Shabbat, I learned a book with my daughter. It's The Garden of Emunah, but for children. I don't know if you know Rabbi Arosh from Breslev. You know, he has so many books: The Garden of Peace, The Garden of Emunah, The Garden of Riches. I was just learning The Garden of Emunah for children with my daughter on Shabbat. And it was incredibly enlightening to see how even for the Emunah for children is exactly what we need. You know, Emunah 101 is, or Mashiach 101, the 101 lets you know it's for beginners. It's for people that need to know exactly what they need to know from the ground level up. So Rabbi Arosh brings in his book, 3 Steps to Emunah, which I would like to share with you tonight. He says Emunah has 3 levels: beginner, intermediate, and expert. The beginner level of Emunah, step 1, is that you have to understand that Emunah means that I accept certain things. And the first thing that I'm going to accept, that no matter what happens in my life, that this is what Hashem wants. Step number 1 is that this is what Hashem wants. Everything that is happening to you, and everything, and for everyone else in the world, down to the tiniest detail, is done by divine providence. Hashgacha pratit. Step number 1 to Emunah is understanding this is what Hashem wants. This is what Hashem wants. When you start going through life, understanding and accepting that everything is precise, there are no mistakes, that all your successes and your failures and your challenges and your triumphs in every aspect of your life are custom-made experiences, custom-made events that are tailor-made for your spiritual journey. That's step number 1. This is what Hashem wants. Step number 2 in Emunah is for the intermediate, meaning if you already got past this level, you're not a beginner anymore. If you're walking around life saying, this is what Hashem wants, you know what? you're already past the beginner stage. If you're able to accept things, that this is what Hashem wants, you're already good. You can graduate to the intermediate level. The intermediate level of Emuna is that you accept that everything is for the best. Everything that happens in your life is for the best. Besides the fact that every experience is designed specifically for your neshama and for your journey, but every single experience is for the best. No matter how amazing or how tragic, every experience is for the best. Even if you can't comprehend, even if you can't process, even if you can't register the life event as such, that it's not for the best, you have to know that Hakol Tova, it's all for the best. Imagine, the worst thing in the world, the first thing you say, Hakol Tova. The best thing in the world, Hakol Tova. Again, if you're able to really have that output, that mental thought come into words where you are completely accepting that no matter what happens to you is Hakol Tova, you've passed the intermediate level. You have now moved on to the advanced level, the part 3 of Emuna. That the reason that all these things are happening, both good or bad, or your successes or your failures, whatever is easy for you or whatever is hard for you, is because Hashem wants to bring me closer to Him. Everything, every single thing that Hashem does, the sole purpose of what Hashem does is to bring us all closer to Him. Some people are able to get close to Hashem by putting in the necessary work to forge that relationship. Anybody who's ever had a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife or children or extended family, those are all relationships. All those relationships need work. There's highs, there's lows. You gotta, there's maintenance for every single type of relationship. You have to spend time, you have to listen, you have to talk, you have to get into fights and you have to make up. You have to have joyful experiences and God forbid, sometimes very unpleasant experiences, but it's all part of the relationship. But you forge a relationship. So what Hashem wants you to, when Hashem wants to bring you closer to Him, there's different ways of doing it. It's either you're able to get close to Him because you're having a good experience, and that's when you forge the relationship, or sometimes because you're not coming to Hashem on your own, Hashem creates events that are almost tapping you on the shoulder. You're going to talk to me? Are we going to have a relationship? Some people are able to see Hashem in every turn they take in their daily lives. Others, they're going to need that tap on the shoulder before they begin a dialogue with Hashem. They're going to need to get tapped on the shoulder with a health scare or some financial woes or marital issues or family affairs, etc., etc. Something they will need to come up where a person will feel, I need to talk to God. Only God can help me. Some will even need the coming of Mashiach in order to bring them closer to God. They will need to see real dramatic world events in order to have an awakening, a spiritual awakening. They will need to go through the pangs of the Messianic era in order to come to the Jewish default setting of En lanu nishaen el Avinu shebashamayim. Sometimes that's what it takes for a person to have a relationship with Hashem. Third part of Emunah is understanding. It's knowing that it's all to bring us closer to Hashem. As it's stated in Masechet Sotah on the 49th page on the second side, it says, in the time of Ikveta de Mashiach, This Masechet speaks about this concept. It says in the time of Ikvita de Mashiach, it gives us some checkpoints or like check boxes. They said in the time when Mashiach is going to come, these are going to be the telltale signs. I'm going to read them off, and you tell me if you already see that in your private life as a reality. It says that from the time Rabbi Eliezer Gadol Omer, Rabbi Eliezer the Great says, from the day of the second temple was destroyed, the generations have deteriorated. Scholars have become like scribes that teach children. The scribes have become like beetles, and the beetles have become like ignoramuses. In other words, there's a deterioration of our tzaddikim, or of our sages. It says, and increasingly, no one seems to be asking or to rely upon Avinu Shebashamayim. More and more people are ignoring the relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and nobody's saying, nobody's even asking about Avinu Shebashamayim. And then it says, Be'ikveta de Mashiach, chutzpah yizge. It says in the times of Mashiach, chutzpah, you know it's chutzpah, rudeness is going to be rampant. It's going to increase. Veyoker yamir hagefen, veyoker yamir. It says, and things are going to be very expensive. I don't know about you, but back in the days, I'm just saying that, nowadays people pay for shoes. It used to be $50 to $20, $30, $50. An expensive shoe was $100, $200, right? Now we've gotten into a generation where a shoe is $3,000, $4,000 a shoe. Gucci, Mucci, Louis, all these things. A shoe is a shoe, right? But apparently, you got to have a super expensive shoe. T-shirts, they used to be 3 for $10. Okay, it had a print on it. It's a $20 T-shirt. You know what? It's a brand name, $49.99. You know what? $100 T-shirt. You know that there's T-shirts right now for $600? In the time of Mashiach, things are going to be expensive. It just doesn't make sense to pay that much money for a shoe. There are handbags that cost $20,000, $30,000 because they have some sort of a tag or a silver thing with upside down letters. Ooh, $30,000, $10,000. I see none of the ladies are agreeing with me now. That's okay. But that's one of the signs of Mashiach. It says, Yamir hagefen titen pirya, va'en yeh beyoker. It says there will be an abundance of grapes, yet wine will still be very expensive. Umalchut tafoch leminut, and the monarchy will turn into heresy. In other words, the people that are in charge are all going to be heretics. You see how little by little they took out God out of government, God out of schools. Tochachat bait vad yeh, and there will be no one that is about to give reproof. And bet vad yeh liznut, and the place of sages will become a place of promiscuity. Let's get to the other part. And it says, and the wisdom of scribes will be putrid. You know, back in the days, how much honor we used to give to tzaddikim, we used to give to rabbis. He says in the time of Mashiach, chokhmat sofrim tisrach. And the people who fear sin will be held in disgust. And the truth will be absent. Fake news. When's the last time you heard something truthful on TV? When's the last time you even heard anything true? Everything's a lie. Olam HaShekri is coming into its own. It says, Na'arim pnes kanim yalbinu. The young children are going to humiliate the elders. I don't know if you know, but the youth will shame the face of the elders. I don't know about you guys, but up until 10 years ago, I would say, I don't know, children used to act different with their parents. 20 years ago, my God, I don't remember me as a child ever answering my father. I don't even remember conversations that I've had with my dad. My dad doesn't even remember ever speaking to his father. You know, they knew, they went to school, they came home, they had Shabbat dinner, that was it. Maybe they got on the holidays, I don't know, it was a different relationships altogether. Nowadays, the kids are running the house. The kids are answering their parents. The kids are completely rude and insensitive, and there's no respect to the elders. Back in the days, a 70-year-old grandfather, you walk into the room, you kiss his hand, and you sit with him, and you talk to him. Share with me your wisdom that you've gained all your life. Nowadays, what do we have? We have people that as soon as the parent in their late 60s or 70s starts to have some sort of ailment, they're shopping for an old age home. The elders have become the burden of society. The young people don't sit down to talk to their grandparents. They don't relate. They make fun of them. The way they dress, the way what they eat, the way they smell. It's incredible. It's incredible how the young kids have lost the respect for their elders. It continues to say, the elders will stand for the young ones. You know, I don't know about you, but back in the day, I know when I used to ride the bus in New York City, they used to have special seats for the elderly or for the handicapped. And as soon as somebody got on the bus and they were maybe already in their 50s or 60s, everybody stood up. Please take my seat. Nowadays, nobody moves. As a matter of fact, the kid will come over to the grandfather or to the older person. Do you mind if I sit? I'm tired. And the elders do get up in order to accommodate the children. I don't know if you've ever seen children in the malls, how the parents are accommodating their children just not to get embarrassed in public. The tables have turned. Ben Menavel Av, the son embarrasses, disgraces the father. You know how many phone calls parents get nowadays about their children on the things that they do, the pranks that they do. They see things on YouTube, they see things on TV, they mimic it. Or when they're in public, you see that the son talks back to the father, hits the father, disrespects the father in public. Ben Menavel Av. I'm telling you, 10 years ago, I didn't see it. Not even once. I can tell you that, Baruch Hashem, now that I have children, I see it a lot. I see it a lot. I'm around children and I see it. Bat kama be'ima, a daughter will rise up against her mother. Kala bechamuta, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And this is we see a lot. Back in the days, the daughters used to respect their mothers. Today, they talk to them like they're friends. Let's go shopping together. They became best friends. They didn't become mother and daughter. And we see that back in the days also, when a person got married, the parents from the other side would accept the addition to the family as another daughter. They didn't lose a son. They gained the daughter, and they would have a relationship. And the husband would treat the mother and his wife's parents like they're his parents. He would have to give them the same honor as the way he would honor his own parents. It was a beautiful relationship. You added more elders to the family, more love, more respect. In the time of Mashiach, we see that the daughter-in-laws do not get along with the mother-in-laws. I speak to a lot of people, and one of the biggest problems in marriages is the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. So whenever you see that, just know Mashiach is coming. What can you do? Continues to say, Oive ish anshe beton. The enemies of a person are going to be the people that live in his own home. Meaning, the children rebel, the wife rebels, the people are against the man of the house. V'pnei ador k'pnei kelev. And the face of the generation is like the face of a dog. What does that mean? We know the dogs are very brazen. They're very chutzpanim. And in the same way that the dog always, you you ever see a dog, you shoo him away, he comes back. You shoo him away, he comes back. He's brazen, he's chutzpan. Not only that, kelev, what's kelev? Kelev kulo lev. He's all heart. Which means what? He always follows his heart. He always follows his desire. So he says, just like the dog is brazen, chutzpan, and just like the dog always follows his heart's desire, that's how the generation is going to be. They're all going to follow their own heart's desires, and then all going to be chutzpanim. Haben eno mitbayesh me'aviv, and the son is not embarrassed from his father. V'al ma yeshanu lishayen. And in a generation like this, what do we have to rely on? Ela al avinu shebashamayim. When you see all that, happening, I don't know how many boxes you checked from this Masechet Sotah, but even if you checked out 2 or 3 or 4, you're in the time of Mashiach. And they tell us when you check those things, you've reached that state, that state of mind, which we all need to get to as a whole. Back to our lesson. We're discussing Emuna, achieving Emuna during these trying times. It's not going to be simple. It's not going to be simple. We're going to be attacked on all fronts. We'll be maxed out, confused, defeated at home, defeated at work, defeated in shul. Society will be chaotic. You will need to go through life and have daily life experiences. And as you're dealing with these life experiences, the forefront of your brain is, this is what Hashem wants. Everything is for the best. Hakol letova. Kol derech mana avid letav avid. Whatever Hashem does, it's all for the best. You have to put on your Emuna glasses in order to understand, to believe, to know for a fact that's all for the best. The flat tire, it's for the best. No job, it's for the best. Broken leg, it's for the best. Marital issues, it's for the best. Disrespectful children, it's for the best. COVID, it's for the best. Everything's for the best. And why? Because these are custom-made events that are supposed to bring you closer to Hashem. That's the end result. Each one has a certain hardship that they personally need to go through. Why? In order to bring him closer to Hashem. What's going to make you yell to Hashem, Hashem, help me, I got no one else. The broken leg, the COVID, the wife not listening, the kids not listening. What's your breaking point? But we all have to get to that part. We all have to get to En Lanon Milishayin. And this outcome, this end result, this outcome that is desperately needed any way possible, with all these difficult life dramas designed to break you down, to turn to God. In order for what? So Hashem can say, talk to me, my children. Are you hurting? Can I help? Only I can help. Let's talk. Because when things are good, it's easy to say it's for the best. I'm making money, obviously it's for the best. I just got married, obviously it's for the best. Just bought a home, obviously it's for the best. I just had children, obviously it's for the best. When the sun is shining, when you feel Hashem's chasadim, how easy is it to say, oh Hashem, it's for the best. Hashem, wow, you're amazing. It's all for the best. It's so easy to say in those situations. It's easy to praise Hashem when it's good. But the second part of the pasuk is ve'emunatcha balelot. In the night, in the darkness, what do you need? Emunah. And that's what the rabbis were telling us. It's going to be a darkness of emunah. And when there's going to be darkness, you need emunah. That's why the 50th challenge, the 50th gate, is going to be the darkest and the hardest. And that's why you need emunah as that tool. To be able to say, thank you, it's for the best. For some, when it was morning and things were going good, they didn't forge the necessary relationship with Hashem. When things were good, they ignored God. They didn't go and say, you know what, God, you know what, you're hooking me up. You know what, thank you. Never thought I'd drive a Merce. Never thought I'd own a home. Never thought I'd have like such a wonderful life. But look at my wife, look at my children. I really need anything. You go to shul? No. Do you pray? No. Do you eat kosher? No. Do you study Torah? No. You know what? Maybe I should say something. I mean, after all, he gives me the breath, the air that I breathe. You didn't do it. You didn't do it when everything was good. However, Hashem is still your father. He still loves his sons and his daughters. And when he was good to you, you didn't talk to him. You didn't reach out. So maybe in the Leilot, maybe in the darkness, you'll begin to speak. What are we going to do? Whatever it takes. For some people, it's the only way. People don't like to hear that it might be challenging in the time of Mashiach. Great. How was your spiritual performance before Mashiach? It was so great because anybody who is connected to God, when you say Mashiach, they're not scared. Bring it on. I'm ready. It's going to be tough. Yes, it's all for the best. It's going to be challenging. Yeah, I know, but I have Emuna. It's going to be all right. Why? Because I can't wait. Mashiach, finally Mashiach. That's somebody that prepared for it. Someone who didn't prepare for it is shaking in their boots right now because they don't have a relationship with God. And again, it's like going to the gym. When you go to the gym over and over and over and over, finally you get those results. You get the bigger muscles, you get the stronger body, you get more endurance. Similarly is the Emuna muscle. The more you use it, the bigger your Emuna gets. The stronger your Emuna gets. The more you are able to cope with life. And the more you practice your Emuna, the 3 steps of Emuna that we discussed, it's all for the best. It's what Hashem wants. It's to bring me closer to Hashem. All that Hashem has in store for you is good. Even the quote-unquote bad that we think in our eyes are bad, it's all for the good. Later on, we'll see that it was actually for the best. And when you know how to process, digest, cope, survive, succeed in your life and your life experience, because you got your Torah glasses on, you got your Emunah glasses on, and finally you are really excelling in your faith in Hashem, once you pass this stage, or at least begin to master it, because every day it's in the forefront of your brain, you have those 3 sentences ingrained on your forehead that this is how I feel. Something goes wrong, I call it tova. Something goes wrong, it's all from Hashem. This success or this failure, it just bring me closer to Hashem. I get you, Hashem. You want me to talk to you. Once you have that, there's an add-on. There's an additional tool. There's an add-on to this life tool, an upgrade, and it's called Bitachon. Without Emunah, you cannot reach the level of Bitachon. You should know that. You can't skip. You can't just have Bitachon. First Emunah, and then you get to Bitachon. And what's the difference with Bitachon? Bitachon means, if you literally translate it, is like security or trust. Emunah is when you believe in God. You believe in His existence. You believe in every single action that is being done towards you and the hidden intentions behind it. The Emunah makes you understand that's all for the best and all for your own good. Bitachon is when you've established this knowledge, but now you are living it. You know it's all for the best. That you're out there in the world, living every experience that Hashem has dealt out for you, and it's the best thing that can happen to you. Having full trust that Hashem will provide all you need: food, shelter, clothing, money, family, health. You have full trust. And if any of that is not provided, you're not lacking anything, because you are living the reality that it's all good all the time. It's not lip service. Emunah is you're saying it. Hakol tova, ani ma'amin, yesh emunah. Some people, it's very, it's on their lips. They know how to say it all the time. They know how to say the right words, you know? That's Emuna. Maybe you're able to bring yourself to say the words. Bitachon is when you're living those words. Not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. The guy hasn't had a meal today. It's for the best. Can't find a job. He has a smile on his face. Car gets repoed. He thanks Hashem for it. That's bitachon. That's a person that has bitachon. That's his reaction. But it also comes, bitachon also comes with the security, with the trust, with the true belief that I didn't eat, but a meal is coming. Can't find a job is coming. They repoed a car, there's another car coming. Bitachon is knowing that it is, whatever it is, it's for the best. Right now, it's this, and it's okay. It's okay that it's this. Soon, it will be better. And I know it's going to be better. And if it's not going to be better, it's still okay. You know why? Because it's all for the best. You understand the mentality? Nothing is going to shake you up. Nothing is going to rattle you. You have, you don't have. You get, you don't get. It's good, it's bad. It doesn't matter. Whatever is happening, you're in a state of mind that you have bitachon, that it's all for the best for you. Hashem is doing all this in order to perfect your neshama's journey in this world, to fulfill your ultimate tikkun. There's no mistakes. There's no complaints. There's no better reality than the reality you're living at the moment. That's bitachon. Emuna is action below that affects the heavens. Bitachon is knowing that action from above will directly affect your life, sooner or later. And whatever it is, accepting it as the best. It's the best possible scenario in your lives. And for beginners, that means even when you don't understand it. When you can't process it easily, when you put it through your brain and everything will error can't compute. Bitachon is when you accept it even when it doesn't process with the set of values that you've been accustomed to, with your human mind and the emotions and the social conditionings. But when you're able to bypass your mind, your emotions, your social conditioning, and achieve a reality of accepting all of the best, you've achieved bitachon. Bitachon is when your level of emuna affects your personal outlook and personal belief. The more a person believes, the more a person trusts in Hashem, the more a person accepts his life experience, regardless of the cards that he's dealt on a daily basis. Even if it's pocket aces or a deuce three, it doesn't matter. It's all good all the time, and it's for the best. That's emunah and bitachon. And this high level of emunah lets a person feel like he can rely on Hashem. He can trust in Hashem. He can feel secure with Hashem. And that everything is in the hands of Almighty. That Hashem loves him and cares for him and wants the best for him and would never hurt him. That's bitachon. That you are safe in the hands of God. And when a person understands that Abba in the Shamayim, your Father in the heavens, is taking care of you every single second of the day, that's bitachon. Not when you're winning, not when you're forcing yourself, but when you're living it. Every single breath you take, you are feeling secure. You're enveloped. Hashem has you in a little ball like this, holding you. I got you. I'm protecting you. Wherever you go. It's all good. Don't worry. It's for the ultimate good. That's bitachon. Takes time to get there. We're going through, we're zooming through a lot of very, very big concepts that a person has to work on a daily basis. It takes weeks, takes months, sometimes takes years to get there. But we got to get these concepts in. That's bitachon. That's what happens when you have the proper emuna. It leads you to this add-on called bitachon. When you know that Hashem is driving the bus, sit back and enjoy the ride. And when you reach this level, when you've reached this level where you can actually just go through life and you know that Hashem is directing you where you need to be, He knows what your neshama needs to go through for its ultimate tikkun. When you have this trust in God, it activates the bonus. It activates the happiness and joy in life that everybody's in search of. It's not that meal, it's not that movie, it's not that vacation, it's not that car, it's not that materialistic thing or physical thing that we're chasing. The happiness and joy that people are in search of is also found at the end of Emuna and Bitachon. When you trust in God, it brings with it both peace of mind and tranquility of the soul, which activates joy and happiness. I don't know if any of you have experienced it. Maybe for a short period of time, where you felt Hashem is taking care of you. Hashem's got your back. You believe in Him. He believes in you. You're going through life. You're making the right decisions. You're making the right choices. You woke up. You prayed. You blessed on your food. You're staying away from bad. You're staying focused on being good. You're talking to God in the street. You're talking to God in your head. You're talking to people about Torah and about Chidushim, and all of a sudden you're in the Torah zone. You're in the Jew zone. And you feel so good. And you feel so connected. At the end of that, there's a feeling that doesn't dissipate, doesn't go away. It's a feeling of happiness and joy that you're connected. You wake up tomorrow, it's still there. You wake up a week later, it's still there. You wake up a month later, it's still there, and it grows, it adds. You lose it when you sin, though. When you sin, your mind starts to play tricks on you. You're like, you're not worthy of this feeling, you're not worthy of this connection. But if you're able to stay connected, you can actually feel happy and joyous because you're achieving a successful relationship with the Creator. Bitachon makes you worry less. So you're in a state of joy more. How can you worry? Hashem's got your back. He's taking care of you. There's a few Pesukim in Tehillim that talk about this exact same concept. It says in the 32nd chapter of Tehillim, on the 10th Pasuk, V'abotech b'Shem chesed yisovevenu. The one who trusts in God, chesed, loving kindness surrounds him. Imagine you're walking around and loving kindness is just floating around you. Anything that's going to happen to you is just loving kindness. Why? Hashem hooked it up for you. There's another pasuk in Tehillim, in the 56th chapter, the 12th pasuk. Be'elohim batachti lo ira. When I have bitachon in God, when I trust in Hashem, I have zero fear. What can a person do for me? If I have faith in God, if I trust Hashem, I have no fear. And what can a person do to me? How can a person hurt me? There's another pasuk in Yirmiyah. Baruch hagever ashiftach b'Shem v'haya Hashem miftacho. Blessed is the man who trusts in God, and Hashem is his security. I mean, there's a lot of, keys to success over here buried in these pesukim. Trust in Hashem, you have nothing to worry about. A man can't hurt you when you have bitachon in Hashem. Who doesn't want that? Sign me up. 2 of those, please. There's going to be a huge challenge of Emuna, a huge challenge of our bitachon. Our trust in God is vital during this time. Our prophets told us in Yechezkel and Yirmiyah, they said, Al tira mehem, umidvarim al tira. Says, don't fear them. In the time of Mashiach, don't fear the people and don't fear the words that are going to be out there, the propaganda, the news, everything that's on social media. Al tira mehem, umidvarim al tira. Because keep in mind, fear is a major factor in this next stage of of civilization. Fear is going to be very, very a huge tool that they're going to use to try to scare people into vaccinations, into giving up their rights, into I really never want to dip into this part of the class, but there's going to be so many things that are going to be fear driven. And our prophets told us when they take that route, when they take that option, al tira mehem, don't fear them. Mitvarim and all the things that they say, al tira, don't have fear. Al tira mipnehem, al tichat mipnehem, don't fear them. That's from Yirmiyah as well. Have bitachon, because when you trust in Hashem for your livelihood, for your sustenance, for your health, for your redemption, for all your needs, you have a sense of calm. Your heart is at rest. You have security and peace. No matter what will be in the near future, it doesn't matter how the whole world is going to turn upside down. If you have Emuna and Bitachon, you're not going to feel that anxiety. You have a relationship with Hashem. He's protecting me. I'm in the God bubble. Nothing can hurt me. Why? I did teshuvah. Why? I did have Emuna. I worked on my Emuna. Why? I have Bitachon. I worked on my Simcha. I worked on my Achdut with Am Yisrael. I did everything. Imagine you're going into the Geulah saying, Mashiach is coming for me. I know it. Why? I did the work. As opposed to the guy that's sitting on his couch and saying, I can't wait. Mashiach is coming. Finally, I don't have to pay my mortgage. Mashiach is not coming for that guy. He's not coming for that guy. You're going to need this secure feeling in the future. When the whole world will feel upside down and in chaos, you're going to need it to have part of your daily feeling that you're secure because God is on your side, or you are on the side of God. Like it says in Yirmiyah, blessed the man who trusts in God. God will be his refuge. These pesukim are good forever. They're good thousands of years ago. They're good today. They'll be good for another millennium. These pesukim are guarantees that Hashem has placed for us to take him up on it. Blessed the man who trusts in God, who has bitachon in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. God will be his refuge. Nothing else. I'm so happy. I only have to deal with you. No more my lawyer, no more my president, no more my mayor, senator, banker, nobody, doctors, nobody, only you. Not a problem. Hashem says, let's do it. I've been waiting for this. The Pasuk says, it's going to be a reality. 1,000 will fall to your left, 10,000 to the right. And what are you going to do? You're going to just walk. That's not your reality. Your reality, you're in a bubble, you're protected. You will not be harmed. We started this how-to guide for before Mashiach is coming. In the previous lessons, we discussed the teshuvah and all that's entailed, the emuna, the test of the Messianic era, the achdut, the unity that's necessary in Am Yisrael to merit a quick and peaceful geulah, which, by the way, is always an option. Always an option. This whole thing can just blow away in a split second if all the Jewish people do what? Unite. If we just have unity. That's one option. Mashiach comes quickly and peacefully. Done. No. You don't need to go to step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5 of our classes. Unity, good. Let's go. Done. Shabbat 2 times, done. Teshuvah, the Rambam says, just do teshuvah. Quickly we get Geulah. Am Yisrael does get teshuvah, quickly we get Geulah. That's what the Rambam says in his Lichot Teshuvah. We have so many outs. In this particular lesson, we discussed Emuna and Bitachon, that the absolute trust you need to have in Hashem. Not just knowing, but living Emuna. And you should go through these exercises. These are necessary spiritual exercises, like the names of the lesson. Teshuvah, Emuna, Achdut, repeat. You were able to work on it, do it again the next day. This class. Emuna, Bitachon, Simcha, repeat. Keep doing it. Just like going to the gym. Over and over and over and over again until you're on automatic. That something happens, כל לטובה, כל דרחמן האבי לטב האבי, גם זו לטובה, ברוך השם, חסדי השם, that's it. Get into automatic mode. That's what's going to get you to the other side of the Emuna, of the Geulah. If you go through the steps, the teshuvah, the emunah, the achdut, the simcha, the bitachon, you will achieve a state of true joy and happiness. You know, I always said, this whole entire lesson could have done without the joy and happiness. Even if you told me to do all those things, it makes sense. You didn't need to put the cherry on top that you'll be happy for doing it. Why do we have to say that, if you do this entire process, you'll also be joyous, you'll be happy? It's almost like overkill. You didn't have to do it, didn't have to mention it. But you'll be surprised to know. And maybe you don't know this, but our entire service of Hashem, the entire performance of the mitzvot, is all hinged on it being done besimcha. In Parashat Kitavo, in the book of Devarim, the parasha discusses over there 98 curses, all the calamities that will come upon the Jewish people when they shy away from the Torah. And talks about there are all these crazy tragedies that will come. The enemies, the trials, the tribulation. And it says over there, why will this happen? Why? In other words, let's sum it up. All these 98 curses in Parashat Kitavo, why will they happen? Why would that be a reality for the Jewish nation? Simply put, Tachat asher lo avata et Adonai Elohecha besimcha u'tuv levav mirov kol. All these 98 curses, the virus, the cancers, the enemies, anything that they put over there, all the calamities will all come, chas v'shalom. Why? Asher lo avat et Hashem Elokecha, that you didn't worship Hashem, your God, besimcha. Our whole service of the Torah is hinged on doing it with joy. Put on tefillin, besimcha. Shakol niya bidvaro, besimcha. Kiddush, besimcha. Rosh Hashanah, besimcha. Yom Kippur, besimcha. Everything simcha. Everything besimcha. Even on the months of Av, we don't say to be sad. We say, mamaitin besimcha. You still have something to be joyous. In Adar, we say, marbin besimcha. We add to the simcha. Means that we're in a state of simcha and we add more. In Av, what did they tell us? Mamaitin besimcha. In other words, you're still in a state of joy. Just a little bit less because of everything that happened during that month. The Jew's default setting was to be happy, was to be joyous. I'm happy to serve Hashem. I'm happy to perform the mitzvot. I'm happy to be Jewish. That's our original default setting. Our default setting is to be happy serving Hashem. Yet we are so far away from that. We are so far away from doing everything that Hashem wants from us, besimcha, that we need to go through teshuvah, emuna, bitachon, achdut, only to bring us back to the default setting of simcha. So in reality, the whole simcha is not a bonus for doing all this work. It's the starting point that we lost. That's what we're supposed to be to begin with. We lost our way. So we have to go through lessons. First, go learn how to do teshuvah. You sinned. Come. Modeh v'ozev yirucham. Come. Admit. Leave it behind. Come. Mercy. Let's start that. Next thing. What do we have to do? Emuna. Let me show you. It's all for the best. You don't believe me? Let me show you. Bitachon. Trust. Believe it. Live it. Achdut. What happened? 2,000 years already. We can't build Bet HaMikdash. Sinat chinam. Still can't stand our neighbor, can't stand the guy that lives down the block, can't stand the guy in the supermarket. We still can't bring it to a point where we love every Jew just because they're a Jew. Obviously not. We have to go through all these exercises to bring us back to where Hashem left us off in Sefer Devarim. I told you all this will happen. Asher lo avat et Hashem Elokecha b'simcha v'tuv levav. This default setting of being joyous in order to serve Hashem, that's how far we are from the essence of who we really are. As it says in Tehillim on the 97th chapter and the 11th pasuk, it says, Or zarua la tzaddik ulishre lev simcha. He says the tzaddik, the one who has a lev yashar, that goes through life on walking the straight and narrow that Hashem wants him to do, what's the end result? Simcha. Ulishre lev simcha. You go on the straight and narrow, you believe in Hashem, you do everything that Hashem wants for you, the end result is joy. And you should know that simcha is like a bulletproof vest. No one can hurt you. I'll give you an example from that. There's a story in Megillat Esther. Finally, Esther, high dramatics of the story of Megillat Esther, that finally she's going to reveal to the king Ahasuerus, the wicked Haman that wanted to destroy, to annihilate all the Jews in one day. It's the big reveal. She invites him in. And there it is. There's Ahasuerus, there's Haman, there's Esther. And she's going to drop the bomb. And finally, Haman is going to get revealed and he's going to be handled by the king, killed. What does Esther do? She tells him, oh, hi, Ahasuerus, hi, Haman. Do you mind if I invite you to dinner tomorrow night? What? You told us that we're going to have dinner tonight. There's a whole thing for us tonight. No. Can you come back tomorrow night? So they acquiesced. Sure, Queen Esther, we'll come back again tomorrow night. What happened? What happened that night? Why did she drop the bomb that night? Haman was there. Ahasuerus was there. Because Esther Hamalka saw that Haman was in such a state of happiness. He was in such a state of joy that imagine this nobody that made it up the ranks, that is now filthy rich, second in command to the king, and the queen herself invited him to be with the king. He was so overwhelmed with joy that nothing could hurt Haman. Not even the one person that wanted to annihilate all the Jews, nothing could have hurt him that night. That's the power of Simcha. That's why she had to invite him the second night. The second night, he was less happy. She dropped the bomb on him, and we know how that ended. But imagine, Haman was saved that night because of a Simcha. Imagine the power of being joyous. So when the time comes of Mashiach and all the Messianic era, the Chevle Mashiach, the pangs of Mashiach and the Gog and Magog and all these things, if you're able to be in your default setting as a Jew, happy to be a Jew, happy to worship Hashem, nothing will harm you. Nothing will touch you. And if something does, you know how to deal with it. You have the Emuna, you have the Bitachon, and you have the Simcha. It's all for the best. We sort of have to reprogram ourselves a little bit in order to be successful in the time that we're about to enter. Ironically, I got to talk a little bit about this conspiracy talk. Ironically, they talk about the 5G right now, right? 5G, these antennas, they work on low frequencies because the human body is an antenna itself. And when a person is scared, when they instill fear in a person, the human body vibrates in low frequencies. And that's when 5G works. 5G works on low frequencies. That's the scare over here. So they're going to scare us into submission, and then they're going to turn on these 5G antennas and be able to control us, right? That's if you have fear. You know what's interesting about 5G? It doesn't work on high frequencies. And you know how your body becomes a high frequency antenna? When you're in Simcha. When you're in joy. They can have all the antennas in the world. You're a happy Jew. Nothing can touch you. Nothing can touch you. The Rambam in the end of Mishneh Torah writes about the importance of Litzapot LeMashiach, to expect Mashiach, to look forward, to yearn, to want the redemption. He cites it as a halakha. And he says anyone doesn't wait for Mashiach is almost like a kofir. Maybe we can learn these chapters in the future about waiting for Mashiach and everything that's entailed, but Teshuvah, Emuna, Bitachon, Simcha, Achdut, repeat. We have work to do. We have work to do. He even says when Israel repents quickly, they get redeemed. B'miyad hem nigalim. B'miyad hem nigalim. Imagine you start teshuvah, quick, done. Forget the emunah, simcha, achdut. It'll come later. You guys did such a good job in teshuvah. Let's go to Israel. A lot of people are scared. They're confused. They're overwhelmed. What do we do? Do we move to Israel? Do we stay here? Do we renovate? Do we buy furniture? Do we buy? Do we sell? A lot of people are really don't know what to do. A lot of people are, should we sell the house? Should we keep the house? Should we buy the new furniture? Or should we use that money to buy plane tickets to Israel? People are confused. Also, when it comes to religion, they listen to a class like this. So much to do. There's so much catching up. How am I going to do it? I'm going to break down just from the to-do list of this lesson. You know, we said people are going to have breakdowns, either COVID breakdowns, Geulah breakdowns. People are going to have like a breakdown from the to-do list of these lessons. We have to also, with all this that's overwhelming and all this people that are scared, you always have to be happy, even when you're in fear. You know why? You're scared because everything that's around, but you're scared because the Geulah is here. What? The Geulah is here. The Geulah is here. It's here. We've been waiting for it for thousands of years. It's here. We're going to see it. We're going to merit to be part of the times of Mashiach. There's a famous story about the Rabbi Akiva, about the fox that walked out from the Kodesh HaKodeshim. I don't want to tell the whole story, but he was there with Rabban Gamliel, Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Azariah, and they told him, they started to cry, oh my God, look, a fox came out of Kodesh Kodeshim. And he started to laugh. So they tell him, Rabbi Akiva, we're laughing. Look what has become of our holy temple. And you're laughing? He says, why are you crying? He says, because look at the state of Bet HaMikdash and Kodesh HaKodeshim. He says, yeah, but the fox walking out of that Kodesh HaKodeshim just made 2 prophecies come true. And the reason why I'm happy, why I'm laughing, is because now I know that the Mashiach is coming. Now I know his Mashiach is coming. Certain people are crying that Mashiach is coming. They're scared. Certain people are happy. Mashiach is coming. It's all a state of mind. Where are you on? You want to be scared about it? You want to be happy about it? You're scared because you're not ready. If you're ready, you're going to be happy. And that's why these classes are very important. Laugh. Don't cry. Be happy. The Geulah is here. Teshuvah, Emuna, Achdut, repeat. Emuna, Bitachon, Simcha, repeat. Till you get there. And then eventually, when it really comes, not only are you ready, but you're going to be able to pass that challenge. And there's nothing like being a winner in the time of Mashiach. Be'ezrat Hashem, Hashem yivarech otchem, sameach otchem, that we should all merit to the time of Mashiach. That we should all merit to be prepared for it ourselves. We should be merit to have our families prepared, our close circle of friends, anybody that you can help to be part of Mashiach. Because I always have it in my mind. Imagine Eliyahu Navi, he's there with a big velvet red rope. He opens it up, come in, you made it. And then he closes up again. And there's your brother or your sister or your uncle or your best friend. They didn't make it. How sad are you going to be? How much is it going to hurt your heart when another person that you really care for is not going to make it over there? So it's your time. This is our time. We have time. This is the beginning. We have time to work on ourselves and work on others. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that these super packed lessons that we've had that have a lot of content on it will be a good springboard to getting into that mindset, being prepared for it, and being successful in the time of Mashiach. שהשם יברך אתכם ושמח אתכם, שיתו ליבכם נחלה, פסגו מנתה למען תספרו ואחרון. Thank you so much for listening.